NSFW, people of Reddit, what is the situation that you taught to yourself? Yeah, this is my all-time low. Psych ward. I remember waking up and thinking I never thought I'd see this day. Yep. I feel that. Hope you're doing okay now. Today is the 1-year anniversary of my wife's sudden death. We were HS sweethearts and we were married for 35 years. 3 months ago I was diagnosed with dementia. I don't have anything else to lose, so I guess this is rock bottom. I am so sorry you are going through all of this. That has to be terribly difficult. I hope you are not alone in dealing with this. If nothing else, you have an internet stranger wishing all the best for you. Wife came out as gay, not bi, and told me her latest girlfriend had made it a condition of their staying together that she would no longer have sex with me. We separated, I began drinking to excess and was well on the way to becoming an alcoholic. By a great stroke of luck I was offered a job in an overseas office of my employer, took it, made a new start, met my future second wife, recently celebrated my 42nd anniversary with her and just became a grandpa. This happened to my dad and I swear I'm not trying to be a one-upper, but her new partner was a clown and she decided to be a clown too. My stepmother left my father to go be a lesbian clown. Like they did normal clown gigs. They were actual performing clowns, to the best of my knowledge. I didn't keep in touch with her after that, she always hated me. Also, Therese, nothing wrong with being a lesbian or a clown, it's when your stepmom leaves your dad to go be one that it struck me as funny. What the duck, I thought you meant metaphorical clown, not a literal, honest-to-God clown. You'd think that, wouldn't you? No, an actual makeup and wig children's events clown. I laughed when my dad told me over the phone. I couldn't help it. But then I told him how sorry I was for him, etc. He's long since remarried and is much happier. Still though, 99% of people would have a laugh at that. You don't hear about lesbian clowns too often, lol. Glad your dad is alright. I was in the throes of an alcohol addiction and went over to my elderly neighbor's house to play some cribbage. I found him laying on his couch and I thought he may have simply died there. My first thought was, naturally, to grab his wallet and run. I didn't. Been sober over 25 years now, too. So was he really dead? Just a nap. He is, though. Nice guy, hell of a hand at cribbage. Lol, this reminds me of my great-grandpa. We play cribbage nearly every time I see him. Really good at that game. Edit, thanks for the silver, kind stranger. I pawned my wedding ring to get money to feed my pill addiction. It opened my eyes though and I ended up cleaning up after a few more months and getting my ring back. My wife worked her ass off to buy me that ring and I was such an addicted piece of shit that I pawned it for a fix. Glad that moment finally woke me up though. 11 years clean now. I woke up in the drunk tank. Police found me blackout drunk with none of my friends in sight. Was far from home and it was 4 a.m. They had no choice but to keep me overnight. Waking up on a concrete bed with the vaguest recollection of what happened, ducking brutal. Caught the train to the beach that morning and cried for the longest time. The worst part was that nobody tried to contact me, and I was out with a huge group of friends. Edit, thanks for the silver. Also, for clarification, nobody trying to contact me hurt because I had tried to contact them and I got nothing back. I was self-destructive back then and people were sick of my shit. I moved away for a while and focused on bettering myself, understanding how I'd strained relationships with my actions and accepting that some relationships could not be repaired. Sitting in my home, wrecked from a failed overdose attempt, 20K in debt, no job, addicted to painkillers, and wondering if I called my mom, if she would even care, or just tell me it was my problem to fix. She cared. Spent the next 10 years putting me back together. Mom died Tuesday morning. As bad as I feel, and having BPD, that's pretty bad, I'm not going to backslide. I won't make all her love and effort meaningless. I will keep things under control and moving forward. Edit, thanks for all the kind words. This time last year, I had left my friends and job in another state and moved to the middle of nowhere to get sober and be with family. I had no car, no home, no friends, and withdrawals from several substances. Probably the lowest I had ever been and was on the verge of suicide. Glad I stayed strong though because now my life has completely changed for the better. Edit, wow, this is easily my most interacted comment ever. Thank you strangers for the encouragement and awards and kind words. I really hope that this helps someone who is going through it right now. I did a similar thing back in August 2016. Moved home to be with family and get a grip on my alcoholism that was, by that point, I think within a year of killing me. I lost everything. Friends, career, the woman I thought I wanted to marry. 5.5 years later I'm happy, healthy, married, we just bought a house. I think about those dark days a lot though. Stay strong. It gets better. I will be rooting for you. I think about those dark days a lot though. That's important. When you stop doing that is when you think a drink isn't a bad idea. The day I found my fiancée dead in her tub after having a seizure. It has been a little over a year now and I'm definitely doing better, but I don't think I'll ever have the happiness that I used to have. My brother died suddenly from a seizure, it still cuts deep. Her love for you will still be there, it will help you through the dark times too. When you're ready to open your heart again, she will be happy for you. Remember, she wouldn't want you to be sad or alone. Big hugs, X. My brother has seizures every few months, but we've stopped taking him to the hospital because they just check the vitals and say yep, he had a seizure, that'll be $10,000. It's kinda terrifying. As someone who's had seizures for 20 years and 2 months ago finally diagnosed with epilepsy, I felt this hard. I was at work, still drunk from the night before. I was starting to panic realizing that I would have a client in my office in a half hour and I looked like shit and felt worse. The kicker? I worked in a drug and alcohol treatment center. I was the financial person and did the intake process with every client before they went to see their counselor. I ended up going to my boss, fessing up, admitting that I had a problem and being told that I needed to get help or it'd have to be let go. I was faced with losing my job, which would lead to losing my home and probably custody of my child. I realized I was on the path to becoming my father and stepmother and I did not want that. I had to make a choice and my whole life hinged on that choice. I've been sober over 17 years now. Ada, I am really grateful and humbled by the kind comments. Thank you. And if you are struggling out there, please find a group of sober folks or treatment. AA works for some but not all and there are other non-AA sobriety groups out there. You are worthy of a healthy life. No matter how bad it is now, it can get better. It might be really hard at first, but it can get better. There is also Stop Drinking right here on Reddit. That boss seems like a very nice person also, congrats on your sobriety. Employees at a drug and alcohol treatment center are probably more likely to be understanding of the situation than a lot of other places. After my divorce years ago, my buddy thought it was a good idea to give me a keg of Christmas ale. I sat alone at home and filled up an empty milk gallon jug every night with it and drank it until it was gone, but not before using it to wash down multiple Ambien in one sitting. I still look back and wonder how I'm still alive to talk about it. Spent over $1,000 in a weekend on a combination of alcohol, phone sex lines, and a few prostitutes. The only free call I made that weekend was to the suicide hotline. Hope you're doing better now. But damn, I gotta say that second sentence is the most noir detective shit I ever read in my life. Indeed. Start it with the exhale of cigarette smoke. Low voice. Soft saxophone playing some slow jazzy tune in the background. Spot on. Too bad this one was real and not a story. When I think to myself, do I have enough alcohol to get myself through the weekend? And buy a bottle of vodka just in case. Then spending the weekend feeling like shit and hating myself, wondering why I'm not happy. Negative feedback loops exist and are a bitch. If you remove yourself from it for 2 weeks, I promise you'll get better. Edit, it's a positive feedback loop, even though the experience is negative. It builds on itself. I made many random trips to the hardware store because it was right across the street from a grocery store so I could pick up a handle of whatever vodka was close to $20, you know. The not good enough to be in a glass bottle but wasn't the absolutely cheapest shit. For me, it was after losing the 3rd job in a row due to shitty performance caused by my alcohol addiction that I was having sex with my wife when whiskey dick kicked in, so couldn't finish. We had yet another, discussion about my situation. I decided enough was enough and if I didn't quit then I probably never would. Thankfully that was almost 3 years ago and I've been sober ever since. Now instead of booze I spend all my money on running shoes and Coke Zero. Congrats man, I'm proud of you for kicking the habit. It's a rough one, but I feel you on the Coke Zero, too. It was the absent-minded drinking that got to me. 0 calories soda definitely helps.